we have funded this project, which is a creative learning network funded project, which is about immersive learning. So we've set up an immersive learning project with Fossoway Primary School. We brought in Paul Gorman, who's a theatre practitioner, to come in and deliver a project with Anne Melville.
It's a situation where you create a scenario that the children believe is real, so they're actually immersed in the whole situation, rather than just creating something in class that they know is just for school. They think it's real, and so they get far more involved in it than they would if it was just schoolwork.
Why do you think they did the project like this? Why do you think it was better or worse to have done it thinking it was real, or if you're just told it was a school project?
I think it was a good sort of thing to help us know that we can actually make a big difference instead of just making a dent in a really big thing. But
the approach is interesting, and people that I come across have some ethical questions about lying to children. But what we do within this is try and create a safe framework that ensures that a high octane or high energy can exist, but it has to be within the realms of safety. So we do many different things to ensure that that happens. For example, the reservoir was not going to hit tomorrow, it will be in 30 years' time. So we look at impact rather than the immediacy of it. All parents got a letter or an email home that explained why we were doing the project, what to expect, but also asked them to play along, which was crucial. We also met with the parents. I sat and talked to them, and they shared their concerns, and we spoke about different ways of dealing with that.
I know that we told you that this wasn't real, but what did you think about being involved in this project, that you had to put a campaign together?
It made us feel kind of a bit more grown up than we actually are, because we're actually doing stuff that can help.
I'm not very grown up.
Primary 6, I've got something to tell you.
It was awful.
Say something good.
Potentially. I'm not a man from the council.
I knew it.
And Pete,
I'm not from a dramatic power company.
I knew it. Ever since
I am still a teacher.
Yes, I am from a theatre company, and Pete is an actor.
I knew it.
Can we focus on why we did it? Okay, because it is quite a big thing to do. Okay, so why do you think we did this? Everybody try and have a think about why we would do this.
It's not about that, but we did all our work.
Yeah, but that's but that answers the question. What? We're going to do more stuff of this after lunchtime, but try and think of all the things that you have thought about or that you've learned about over the past 3 weeks. Yeah.
You're very good at acting, both of you.
Well,
Because you convinced us all.
why do you think, right, okay, let's just focus on this, we'll do more focused work after. Why did you believe me?
Because you had
Wait a minute, shh, keep it calm. This is really important. Why did you believe me?
Because you're very persuasive.
What made me persuasive?
You were telling us the
Yep, tall man with a beard, wearing a suit and a badge. Can I just make sure that how people are feeling? I see some of you are looking a bit sad or annoyed. And listen, it's okay to feel like that just now, okay? And I would suggest it's good to talk about that just now. Okay, so if people are feeling sad or angry, annoyed, then tell me why, and then we can talk about things, okay? Because I would imagine the minute you go out into the playground, you want to tell brothers, sisters, friends, whoever out in the playground. So I want to make sure that you guys can talk about why we did that with your fellow schoolmates.
I also know that some of your parents were concerned about us going on with it. Whilst we didn't want, obviously, to upset any of you, we thought it was really important, as much as possible, to keep that idea of it being a real situation going, because you got so much more involved in what we were doing than if I'd come in and said, right, today's project is... Okay, that's why we did it, to get you really involved in it.
Do you think you worked harder on this project because you thought it was real than you might have done if it was just a school project? Can you see? Tell me that.
Yes, I think we worked a lot harder. The whole class wanted to get the point across and they didn't want it to go ahead, so I think, worked hard.
Obviously, there's been ICT involved in creating PowerPoint, talking and listening, because they've had to actually speak to an audience in a different way from the way that they would normally do a project in class. They've had to do it as though they're speaking to adults rather than as they're speaking to each other. And it's been noticeable that children who, when they're producing in class, will maybe mess around and pull funny faces and make a bit of a joke of it, took this completely seriously and delivered beautifully to their audience. So they've been able to take that up to another level as well.
And I've learned that not only about the project and everything that we learned in the history, but I've learned something about myself, that I can actually do something that I never thought I could do before. Because I never thought I could do something that could actually change the way that adults think in a way.
I think, well, next year we've already set up something taking this further, where the children that P6 is just now, who will be P7s obviously next year, they are going to design a project for the primary ones and the primary twos, so that a real context project. So that will be really interesting to see how that is taken forward. And it also means that they're not going to lose the skills that they've built up this year. But also, when I spoke to some of the parents after the presentation, you know, it just showed them how much power the children have and how this could be used in the community, because one of the counsellors said that there was actually more people turned up for this meeting than for the meeting that was for the community a few weeks ago. So it shows you that that the children have got a say, and it's important, and they can actually carry a lot of power in a community.
I feel they owned the learning that took place because they took responsibility for the narrative. We didn't tell them what to learn, they decided what to learn, and then they decided how to learn it. That's incredibly empowering. It looks at the responsibility that they have, not just as a learner in the school, but also as a citizen out within their own community.
That we're sort of acting, you know the expression at your own age? I think we were a lot above that line. I felt like I was a lot older than I am, to take that level of responsibility, and to people actually knowing that I can do something that I never thought I could do before.
Nothing that they felt or delivered today was fake. It was real world issues that they were dealing with within a fictional scenario. Is what we do all the time when we ask them to read books, watch television, or go out into the playground and play.
I think when they learn the skills on how to present how they feel without becoming too nervous or too impassioned, they understand that they can use this properly. So I think they could take a lot of things in the community much further, and it also allowed the parents to see that the pupils could maybe become involved more in this individually and collectively. So I think that will be a good thing for the school, and it will be a good thing for the community. So I think we'll all benefit from that.
They're teaching us that we'll be ready when we're in high school and everything, and when we're older and we're adults, and we'll know that we can do a lot more to our circumstance in a way that we can do a lot more than we actually thought we could do.
You have a voice.
Thank you.
You have power and influence.